I was still standing outside the damn chapel when it happened. Tux barely wrinkled, cigar still burning in my fingers. The crowd still inside finishing their drinks before we kicked off the reception. My wife's cousin had just hugged me 2 minutes ago. Then my phone buzzed. It was a text. "You're done here. Consider this your gift." No name, but the number was burned into my brain. Trevor Madden, my brand new brother-in-law. The same smug prick who'd just shaken my hand in the pews. I stared at the screen, not even blinking. I'd just married Rachel 10 minutes ago. We were supposed to be walking out into rice showers and cheesy photos. Instead, I was looking at a text that just ended my job. Trevor was the VP at Madden Auto Group, the same company I'd spent the last 2.5 years building from the inside out. I wasn't some desk jockey. I ran ops across 6 dealerships. And now? A goddamn text message. Rachel walked up beside me, bouquet in hand, still glowing. I showed her the screen. She read it, blinked once, and then smirked. She took my hand, kissed it lightly, and said, "Trust me, today's for us. Check your phone later." That was it. No panic, no, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Just calm, almost like she saw it coming. And for some reason, I didn't argue. I tucked the phone into my pocket like it hadn't just gutted the life I'd built. Then the chapel doors swung open. People poured out, clapping, tossing rice like we were royalty. I put my arm around Rachel and walked through it, cameras flashing. Quick note: before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. The band was playing some Sinatra cover when we stepped onto the dance floor for our first dance. I tried to keep my eyes on her, act like nothing was crawling under my skin, but it was there. That itch that something big had shifted. Halfway through the song, my best friend Lou jogged over in a suit 2 sizes too big and whispered in my ear, "You've got over 90 missed calls, man. Half of them are from Trevor's dad." That's when I knew this wasn't just some ego move. Trevor hadn't just fired me. Something bigger was falling apart, and I was right in the middle of it. Lou didn't say another word, just gave me that look like, "Bro, this is bad," and drifted back to the open bar. I didn't check the missed calls. I couldn't. Not yet. But deep down I knew. Trevor didn't have the brainpower to pull something like this off clean, which meant the whole damn system I built was probably already on fire. And that wasn't me bragging. It was just the truth. I'd started at Madden Auto Group as a regional logistics coordinator. Nothing glamorous, just a title that meant I was knee-deep in every broken delivery route, messed up vendor contract, and inefficient warehouse flow across 6 locations. Within 6 months, I realized the whole company was running on duct tape and handshakes. So I built a system. No third-party software, no expensive consultant nonsense. Just me, a laptop, and way too many sleepless nights. I automated invoicing, linked our finance system with the delivery chain, created a real-time dashboard that flagged margin drops, contract errors, and compliance gaps. By the end of year 1, costs were down 27%, turnaround was up, and our financing arm was pushing deals through 3 times faster. I didn't just help, I made that company work. But there was a catch. Trevor, the owner's golden boy, loud, cocky, allergic to hard work. He'd been floated from sales to HR to marketing like a spoiled beer can, loud, empty, and impossible to recycle. When Dean Madden, his father, started easing out to Florida for health reasons, Trevor got the keys. VP title, corner office, his name stamped across the email headers. And suddenly, I was a problem. He stopped looping me into meetings I used to run, started taking credit for systems he didn't understand, shut down my training programs, cut budgets without warning. The guy couldn't spell compliance, but he was signing off on zoning requests like he had a damn engineering degree. That's when I met Rachel. She worked at the county zoning department, sharp, reserved, no nonsense. I'd gone in to push through a permit for our new lot expansion. Basic paperwork until she caught 3 altered line items that didn't match the plans. "Who revised this?" she asked. "Should be Trevor's name on the last update," I told her. She stared at the page for a solid 10 seconds. "This shouldn't have been approved." She flagged it on the spot. That's how we met. Not exactly a romantic origin story, but it was real. We went out for drinks that night, just talked. Her voice was calm, steady, like she saw through all the noise. 2 weeks later, we were seeing each other every day. 2 months later, engaged. She told me flat out one night over pizza, "Trevor's doing something shady with those permits. He's sliding things through under fake specs." I didn't want to believe it at first, not because I trusted him, but because I didn't think he had the balls to do anything real. But she was right. He'd started shoving low-grade materials through our builds, ducking fire codes, speeding up approval timelines using forged documents. I'd been so buried keeping the system clean from the inside that I didn't realize he was corrupting it from the outside. Rachel saw it all, way before I did. Everything ran through my design, my workflows, my password-protected systems that required weekly codes only I generated. He didn't just shoot himself in the foot, he nuked the entire operation. And based on the missed calls, his daddy had just figured that out. I kissed Rachel on the cheek and leaned in. "We need 5 minutes. Bridal suite." She nodded. "Bring your phone." I was already walking. We stepped into the bridal suite and shut the door behind us. Rachel kicked off her heels and sat on the edge of the couch. I yanked off my jacket, loosened my tie, and finally opened the missed call log. 94, mostly Dean Madden. A few from the corporate controller, one from their attorney. I hit play on the first voicemail. "Marcus, this is Dean. We need to talk now. Trevor had no authority to terminate you. Call me as soon as you get this next. Marcus, this is urgent. The finance dashboard's not loading. Nobody can process payments or view contracts. Call me back next. Marcus, our auction deal just collapsed. They backed out because we can't verify inventory. Call me 6th-1. Dean's voice cracked. His breathing was all off. Trevor said he had this handled. I'm realizing he didn't. Please, we need you. I know this looks bad. I didn't know he did this. Just call me Rachel. Stood and walked over, quiet. She sat down next to me and rested her hand on my leg. I was gripping the phone so tight it hurt. She didn't say anything right away, just waited until the 6th voicemail ended. Rachel pulled out a folder from her bag. She'd brought it to the wedding. It had photocopies, timestamp logs, emails, zoning maps, all prepped. You knew this might happen? I asked. I knew he was panicking. He's been calling zoning twice a week asking about audit triggers. When that starts, people get reckless. I leaned back, phone buzzing again in my hand. Another call from Dean. This wasn't just a firing. This was a full-scale implosion. Finance frozen, inventory stuck, supplier pulling out, legal exposure across 3 counties. And I was the only one who had the keys to fix it. All of it ran through Gridline, the internal name for the system I'd built. It wasn't just software, it was structure, logic, protection. Without me, it didn't run. Rachel tapped the folder. We could walk this straight to the county investigator. But I think there's a better way. I stared at her. What are you thinking? I asked. She smiled, not smug, steady. I think you don't call back yet. Not tonight. Let them sweat. She was right. Dean needed me more than I needed him. And Trevor? He'd set fire to the machine without realizing I owned the damn blueprint. I stood up and picked up the hotel landline. Then I unplugged it. We left the next morning like nothing happened. Didn't answer a single call. Didn't pack a single extra document. Just boarded our flight to Roatan like 2 people who hadn't just watched a corporate grenade go off. I kept my phone on silent the whole week. Didn't open a single voicemail. Didn't glance at a single text. By the 3rd day, I finally checked my email. Dean had sent 5 offers. The newest one was a PDF attachment. Double my salary, reinstated title, bonus backdated to the quarter. I didn't reply. I sat under a palm tree, kicked my shoes off in the sand, and cracked open a beer while Rachel flipped through zoning cases on her tablet like it was beach reading. By day 5, Dean sent another email. This one had the subject line, equity offer. Let's talk. They were drowning. Rachel looked over the top of her sunglasses and said, You realize we could sell this system? Not just to them. Everywhere. Dealerships, cities, even schools. You've got the skeleton of something way bigger. I took a long drink and nodded. You think we could pull that off? I think we already have, she said. That night, back at the resort, I borrowed her tablet and started writing. Not just notes, a full business plan. Brand name, service tiers, pricing structure, legal risks, contract templates. I worked straight through the flight home. By the time we landed in Miami, Gridline Solutions LLC was live. Rachel registered the LLC under her name that night, just to keep it clean. I bought the domain, set up the email, and posted the first offer to 3 local government boards. Next morning, boom. First client, County Finance Board. $8,500 startup contract. 1-day onboarding. 12 hours after that, Dean called again. I let it go to voicemail, but I played it on speaker so Rachel could hear. Marcus, we'll hire your firm. Whatever you want. I don't care how it looks. We'll call it a third-party review. Just help us stabilize. I didn't even blink. I picked up the phone, called him back, and set it straight. I'm not for sale, and neither is my system. He tried to talk, but I hung up before he could get the next lie out. They didn't need me. They needed control. But I wasn't stepping back inside that chaos. Rachel leaned over the kitchen counter and slid a fresh cup of coffee toward me. Think they'll survive? If they do, it won't be because of Trevor, I said. We clinked our mugs together. No toast, no soft words. Just a quiet understanding. They burned their bridge. We built something better, and I wasn't done. I grabbed my laptop, opened the onboarding tracker, and started drafting proposals for 3 more counties. I fired off 3 county proposals before lunch, and by the end of the week, 2 of them bit. Then came the real fallout. The city's audit team finally moved on Trevor. The investigators pulled every zoning file tied to Madden Auto Group in the last year. What they found wasn't sloppy, it was deliberate. Missing fire code specs, forged inspection stamps, fake permit numbers that didn't exist in any system. They made it public. He lost his municipal license. Couldn't file another zoning request in the state of Ohio if his life depended on it. A week later, Madden Auto Group lost their biggest municipal fleet contract, the one they'd bragged about in every investor call. The city walked away and signed with a competitor. That's when the stock dropped. Not a dip, a slide. 15% in 2 days, 30% by the end of the quarter. People started talking. Vendors pulled credit lines. Their own staff leaked emails. Trevor was poison. No one would touch him. Then, word got out that Dean had been hospitalized. Mild heart attack. Stress-induced. I got the text from Lou. Dude, Dean's in the hospital. Whole company's cracking. I didn't reply. Meanwhile, Gridline blew up in the best way possible. 5 government contracts in 3 months. I hired staff. Lean, hungry, sharp. People like Rhea, my old assistant, who'd left the Madden the day after I did. She came back swinging, managing onboarding like she owned the place. Rachel and I bought a fixer-upper outside Cincinnati. Small yard, good bones, no HOA. We spent our weekends scraping wallpaper and gutting cabinets. It felt good, like progress. Then, exactly 1 year after the wedding, a letter showed up. Thick paper, formal letterhead, from Dean Madden. A full-page apology. No excuses, no damage control, just straight up. I should have stopped him. I didn't. You paid the price for my silence. He ended it with a simple ask. Not a plea, just a shot. If there's any version of you that would consider helping us rebuild, I'd like to offer you a consulting role. You'd have full oversight, no limits. Trevor's a junior clerk now. Starting over from the bottom, Rachel read it over my shoulder. He actually signed it by hand, she said. Yeah, I said, tossing the envelope on the counter. Didn't think he'd ever admit it. You going to respond? I didn't say anything right away. I didn't even know why I was still holding it. But I wasn't angry anymore, just curious. I emailed Dean that night. Short message, I'll meet. Nothing promised. He responded within 10 minutes. Tomorrow at 10. Conference room, just me and Trevor. I told Rachel I'd go. She didn't ask why. She just handed me my old leather folder from the closet and said, if you go, you walk in like it's your company. The next morning, I drove back to the headquarters I'd built systems for, the same building where Trevor had fired me over text. I walked in without signing in. Security still knew my name. Reception nodded. He's waiting upstairs. I hit the elevator button and adjusted my jacket. 1 year ago, they tossed me out. Now, they were waiting for me. The elevator doors opened and the office felt smaller. Same layout, same furniture, but quieter. Phones weren't ringing, no fake laughs from the bullpen, just that heavy, uncomfortable kind of silence where people keep their heads down and hope you're not there for them. Dean stood when I walked into the conference room. Trevor didn't. He was seated at the far end, hands folded, eyes locked on the table. The smirk he used to wear like a badge was gone. His suit didn't fit right, and the guy who used to storm through meetings now looked like a kid waiting for detention. Dean nodded once and motioned to the seat across from him. "Marcus," he said. "Thanks for coming." I didn't sit. Not yet. Trevor finally looked up. His voice was low but steady. "What I did was petty and dangerous. I thought I was proving something. I just proved I was a liability. No defense, no excuses." Dean reached into his folder and slid a check across the table. "Exact cost of your wedding," he said. "Venue, catering, everything you paid out of pocket." I asked Lou. Then he placed a small black USB drive next to it. "This is your original system. Unaltered. We haven't touched a line of code. We built a new version around it, but I want you to verify it's clean." "You're not asking me to come back," I said. "No," Dean replied. "Just to confirm what we've rebuilt is legit. No strings." I finally sat down. "All right, I'll review it, but I've got conditions." Dean leaned in, listening. 1, triple my rate. "Not negotiable," he nodded. 2, full transparency. I want access to everything. Contracts, vendor lists, onboarding docs, even internal emails if needed. Done. And 3, I turned to Trevor. "He completes every training module I assign. Start to finish." On the record, Trevor didn't flinch. "I will. No shortcuts. You pass what I give you or you get nothing with my name on it." "I get it," he said. Dean pushed the USB closer. "You'll have full system access by end of day. Take your time. We want it done right." I stood, picked up the drive, ignored the check for now. "I'll send my terms in writing." Dean offered a handshake. I stared at it. Then I turned and walked out. I was halfway through a compliance review for a school bus fleet when my phone lit up again. Dean. I let it ring once, then answered. He didn't waste time. Their competitor just went down. Bribery, safety violations, whole contract is back on the table. I want to rebid with your system, your team. I leaned back in my chair. "No," he paused. "No, I'm not taking a job. Not signing a W-2. That world's behind me. I'm listening. You want Gridline? Fine. But we don't work for you. We work with you." He didn't respond, so I kept going. "Separate entities, equal power. You handle sales, customer experience, marketing, everything public-facing. Gridline runs ops, compliance, contracts, zoning, auditing. Nothing gets moved unless we greenlight it." Dean exhaled through the phone. "And Trevor? I oversee everything he touches, every decision, every signature, triple audited. He'll learn fast or he'll get buried in reports. You'll have full access, top to bottom." He was quiet for a beat, then said, "That's going to rattle some of the board. Then the board needs to decide if they want their company back or just another lawsuit." He didn't push back. "Let's draw it up." 1 week later, the board signed off. 3-year contract, joint venture, Gridline Solutions and Madden Auto Group. 2 names, 1 system. When the city reopened bidding, we had everything ready. New specs, corrected zoning files, documented compliance workflows, proof of audit control. We won it fast. The city didn't just approve it, they held it up as a model for future contracts. And Trevor, he didn't whine, he didn't run. He started showing up early, quiet, focused, running reports properly, taking notes in meetings. He asked good questions, not to show off, just to understand. Rhea noticed it first. She leaned over one morning and whispered, "He's different." "Or just scared," I said. "Maybe. But scared works, as long as it stays productive." We ran the first full-scale audit at the end of the month. Clean, not perfect, but solid. I called Dean after and gave him the results. You've got a stable operation. You hold that line, you'll get your name back. And Trevor? He asked. He's not a leader yet, but he's moving in the right direction. There was a pause. Thanks, Marcus. Really don't thank me, I said. You just finally started listening. I hung up, grabbed my jacket, and walked out to meet Rachel. She was waiting in the car, reading permit updates on her tablet. You done? She asked. For today, I said, sliding in. Good. Let's get tacos, I nodded. And a drink. Because for once I wasn't putting out fires. I was building the damn fire code. We were 6 months into the rebuild when Dean called again. I want to promote Trevor. I didn't answer right away. I let him sit in the silence. I know how it sounds, he said, but he's earned... No, I cut in. He earns it when he proves it. Not a day sooner, Dean didn't fight me. He knew better now. So I laid it out. You want him promoted? Fine. He runs the full internal training solo. Front to back, no help, no babysitter. And he does a public town hall, walks every staff member and community rep through our new compliance protocols. Dean hesitated. You think he's ready for that? I don't care if he is. That's the test. We scheduled it for the end of the month. Gridline sent out invites. Internal staff, external partners, even county zoning got a seat at the table. I didn't tell anyone I was coming. The town hall was held at the downtown dealership. 40 folding chairs, a projector, one mic. Trevor walked in early, alone, sleeves rolled up, laptop under his arm. He set everything up himself. No assistant, no sideline help. Just him and a stack of hard copies. I slipped in after the lights dimmed and sat in the back. No announcement, no eye contact. He went down the list. Zoning fraud, forged permits, the materials swaps, how he got too arrogant too fast. Then he explained everything they'd changed, system controls, audit checkpoints, outside verification layers, all tied to Gridline's protocols. Nothing sugar-coated, no buzzwords. He didn't apologize for sympathy. He admitted it for accountability. One guy in the audience raised a hand and asked, "How do we know this isn't just for show?" Trevor answered, "Because Marcus still audits every department I touch. If I slip, he'll shut me down before lunch." People laughed, but not in a mocking way. In a he's not lying way. He closed with a full walkthrough of the compliance workflow, charts, timestamps, access logs, then shut off the projector, said thank you, and sat down. I walked out before the lights came back on. 2 hours later, my phone buzzed. Rhea. "You saw it, didn't you?" "Yeah." "He's changed, Marcus." Promotion makes sense. I didn't respond right away. Just looked out the window at the traffic below. I hated being wrong, but I hated pride more. Next day I called Dean. "He gets it," I said. "You want to promote him? Do it. But listen to me, and listen close. All right. One slip, one shortcut, one cover-up. He's done. Not suspended, not coached, done." "You have my word," Dean said. "Put it in writing," I replied. And he did. 2 weeks after the promotion, I stopped by unannounced to check on a site in Dayton. Gridline wasn't scheduled for an audit, but I didn't care. Surprise was the point. I walked around the side of the service bay and spotted someone crouched near a pallet of parts, clipboard in hand. It was Trevor, khakis, steel toes, no assistant. He had a pen tucked behind his ear and was going part by part, checking barcodes against the intake sheet. I walked up, slow. "You don't have to do that," I said. "That's the team's job." He didn't flinch, didn't even look up at first. "I know," he said, "but I need to understand it all. Not just the reports, the whole thing." He stood, wiped his hands on his pants. "I don't want to fake it ever again." That part landed harder than I expected. For a second, I just watched him. No pride, no posing, just sweat on his collar and a checklist halfway done. So I asked what had been sitting in my chest for over a year. "Why'd you fire me that day?" He looked me in the eye, not nervous, not trying to spin it, just honest. "Because I hated that you built something my father respected. I thought if I knocked you down, I'd take your place." He shook his head. "Instead, I collapsed everything." I stared at him. I thought maybe I'd feel satisfaction hearing it, but it didn't come. What I felt was more grounded than that. He wasn't trying to get sympathy, he was just owning it. I didn't pat him on the back, didn't offer some cliche about growth. But I did say one thing: you earn your place. Day by day, he nodded once. I know. He turned back to the pallet, picked up the next box, and scanned the barcode. I walked out without another word. 1 year to the day after I'd launched Gridline, I was sitting in my home office with 17 active clients, 2 regional contracts, and a 6-person team running point across 3 states. The downtown dealership project wrapped early, under budget, 0 compliance issues, not even a parking violation. Dean's company clawed its way back into the game, not because I threw them a lifeline, but because they rebuilt it brick by brick, the right way, with structure, with eyes wide open. And Trevor, now assistant director, still under review, still reporting to my staff, still showing up every damn day at 7:30 sharp. No one asked him to. He just did. That morning, I was sipping coffee when my phone buzzed. Text from Trevor. Thanks for the second chance. I won't waste it. I stared at it for a second, then turned my screen toward Rachel. She raised an eyebrow. You gonna respond? I smiled a little, just typed out one line. Some gifts you don't return. Just use them better next time. She nodded. No speech, just a smirk, like she already knew. We got in the car, headed out for lunch, and drove past the main dealership, the one Trevor nearly destroyed. Fresh paint, full lot, new signage, and under every inspection sticker, Gridline Solutions, black and white, clean and bold. Rachel glanced over. Would you have done anything different? I shook my head. No, the best revenge isn't ruin. It's watching people rise by your rules, not theirs. She looked back toward the building. Looks like they finally got it. They didn't have a choice. Gridline's name was on every compliance cert, every invoice system, every digital signature they used. From warehouse intake to sales tax tracking. I wasn't just auditing their work. I was their infrastructure. They fired me on my wedding day.